Today I am going to teach you fertilization in angiosperms. Angiosperms, we have already studied the structure of ovule of angiosperm. All the flowering plants, so here it is. This is the structure of pollen grain. As we know that pollen grain is to be formed into the anther lobe. This is the diagram already drawn, just indicating you all the parts which are involved in this process that is known as the fertilization. Simple LS of flower, ovule inside the ovary, so this is ovary, and inside it is ovule. Pollen grain having this vacant place where there is the outer membrane is absent, termed as germ pore, and inside this cell, this pollen grain, there are three different cells are formed. This one is termed as tube cell. These two are similar, termed as two male gamete. Two male gametes are here. The outer covering is termed as outer one. The outer covering is termed as exine, and inner covering is termed as intine. Now this pollen grain is ready for the pollination and ultimately it falls on the stigma. So here I am going to draw a pollen grain, this one, this landing place stigma, and from where the pollen tube moves down, this is to be termed as style. Now germination of the pollen tube is here from this pollen grain. So this pollen tube is moving down in this way. Enters through micropyle. At the very beginning, that means the first cell along with the nuclei will be the tube nucleus. So at the tip of the pollen tube, there will be nuclei, tube nucleus first one along with the cell, and the second two male gametes are here. Just to make a clear diagram of the fertilization, I am taking out this ovule along with the pollen tube. Now, this is the structure of ovule, indicating you the integuments, leaving some area free at the bottom, and it is to be termed as micropyle. So here it is, with funicle, embryo sac with prominent egg cell. So this is the egg cell, making this one egg cell, with two synergids towards both the sides. That means this side and this side. And the cells are having the nucleus. Inside this embryo sac, a bigger cell is also there with two nuclei and of course antipodals. I will share my link for the structure of this ovule also along with this video. And now I am going to draw the pollen tube. So this is the pollen tube entering here from the micropyle. Here it is. Main function of the tube nucleus is to give them a correct direction, that means to the male gamete. So when pollen tube nucleus, when it reaches at the top, it will definitely disintegrate. So this tube nucleus will be disintegrate and it will be providing a passage for two male gametes. So this pollen tube will enter into the embryo sac at the place of the synergids. So it is like this one, you just see like this. The first male gamete fuses with the egg cell. So first of all, there are two new things. Synergids are having a special type of structure termed as Filiform apparatus. Going to label this one Filiform apparatus. This Filiform apparatus is responsible for attracting the pollen tube towards the micropyle and helps in entering of this pollen tube into the embryo sac. So a special type of the chemical is secreted by the synergids, of course, from the filiform apparatus, and these chemicals are responsible for attracting the pollen tube towards the embryo sac. So this type of the movement is also termed as the chemotactic movement. Now the first one is egg cell. First male gamete, as both of them are ready to fuse, so I am going to put a sign of plus, mixing with each other. Technically we will be using the term syngamy also. So this type of the fertilization will result in the formation of zygote. So what is this egg cell? As it is the result of the haploid one, that means it is formed after the meiosis, so it is indicating as N. The male gamete is also the result of meiosis, so this is again indicating as N. N and again N. So zygote is the result of N plus N, so it is termed as 2N. This 2N, technically it is termed as diploid. So the result of first fertilization is formation of zygote and it is diploid. What about the second male gamete? The second male gamete reaches to the central cell. This is the second male gamete. Central cell contains 2 nuclei already. So now this is second male gamete and 2. There are 2. 1 and 2. There are 2 polar nuclei. These 2 polar nuclei, that means 2 in number. So already N plus N for the polar nuclei of the central cell. Male gamete N. So in totality, we have number 1, 1N, 2N, 3N. That means 3 different nuclei with one set of chromosome, technically haploid, fuses with each other and resulting in the formation of endosperm. That means this one will give the result termed as endosperm. This endosperm is 3N. For this 3N we use the term triploid. Going to write this one also. Triploid. Result is the triploid. At the top in the embryo sac there are 3 antipodals, but as we are studying about the fertilization, so no role in between these two processes. In angiosperm we normally use the term that is double fertilization is there. So double fertilization means that inside the embryo sac fertilization occurs for 2 times. The first male gamete fuses with the egg cell to make zygote, which is diploid in nature, and as we know that this zygote will give embryo and embryo will develop into new plant. In second fertilization, the second male gamete, again haploid in nature, fuses with 2 polar nuclei of the central cell. This one is the central cell, this one is the central cell. Central cell of the central cell result in the formation of 3N, that is triploid nucleus. This is actually, this triploid nucleus is responsible for making the endosperm, and this endosperm gives food for developing embryo. This is food for developing embryo. The next question, that means when we talk about the double fertilization, we have to define fertilization for 2 times. That means both formation of zygote and the second is the formation of triploid nucleus, that is endosperm. The second question from the same topic is, what is triple fusion? This is number 1 and the second one is triple fusion. Triple fusion. So your answer is triple fusion. So your answer is that in the second fertilization, 2 nuclei of the central cell fuses with the second male gamete to give you a triploid form, that is known as the endosperm. So as the 3 nuclei are responsible for fusion here in the second process, so we use the term triple fusion. So triple fusion is of course a second part, a second step of the double fertilization. So here it is. Thank you. Bye-bye.